I am so excited for this video, and if you are not having the best day ever, let's make this the best day ever, and let's get inspired and decorate for Halloween together. This year, I wanted to do something different. I try and do a different bar cart every year, but I don't think I've ever done a themed bar cart, and I was incredibly inspired by, wait for it, I picked up this video right where I left off of the last one, and I had asked if you guys could guess. So we were cutting the fabric, and I was putting the various strategically colored items together. We were watching Hocus Pocus together, and I had this concept for a bar cart based off of Universal. So we went to Universal Studios this year for Halloween, and a lot of you guys guessed that I was going to do a little Boo because he's basically the Universal mascot. I said close, kind of, not really. We went to see this show called Nocturnal Circus, and I thought, how cool would it be to do a vintage Halloween circus-inspired bar cart, but take it beyond the bar cart. So the fabric is to hang and be draped well above it. At this point, I had no idea how I was going to do it. I just knew that I needed fabric, and I knew I needed a plan. So we just started to roll with it. So I already had this black tablecloth that I planned on just cutting. So all I did is I just cut a little slit in it, and I just pulled at the fabric. I had these little packets of frame hanging tools lying around, so little accessories, including eyelets and little hooks. So I knew that I could work with something and maybe hook it to the top of the window frame was kind of what I was going for. So I just started looping the fabric through these little eye hooks, and then there was a spot attached to that little hook where I could put a nail through it. I didn't have a plan yet. This was all I did. I just put the tip of the fabric through that little loop, and that was enough to secure it. And I did this for every little piece. And I didn't really mind that there was like those ripped edges because it was kind of giving that much more Halloween vibes. So this is me fully assessing the situation. How am I going to do this? And then I grabbed this wire. So this came with the frame hanging kit. It was not long enough, but there was a second one, and I didn't hate it because it actually kind of looked like barbed wire. So I wasn't sure if I was going to leave the wire exposed, how much of the fabric would cover it. Like I said, we ran with it. My motto in life, not just when decorating, is shoot and then aim. So shoot the arrow and then figure it out later. So I just used a really small nail so that it would make minimal impact, but you can't really see it on the top of the window frame anyways. And I put that through the little hole that was holding the wire, and that would go straight across the window frame, and then I would drape the fabric all around it. And I needed it to be tight across so that it was secure and nothing would fall onto the bar cart, because we're gonna have glass and all sorts of bottles and stuff on this bar cart, so everything needed to be stable. So I knew I wanted to alternate the black and the orange, so I secured two pieces at a time together, and I just started by securing one on each side of the bar cart, one on each windowsill basically, and I wasn't sure if I was going to secure each this way, and I figured out a better way. So I did one on each side, completely hammered down and secured, and then the remainder of them, I just draped them over the wire. So see how I just split it? There's one of those little eye hooks securing the top of it, and then I just split it and I draped it over the wire, so that way I didn't have to actually nail each one down. And at this point I was very happy that my vision was coming to life, because I did not know what I was doing. And then I just draped it over to each side of the bar cart. I kind of wanted it to look like the circus tent was peeking open and you could see the bar cart coming through it. The amount of fabric ended up being perfect for the length of the bar cart and everything that I wanted to do. And then I had a little bit extra of black fabric just because that tablecloth was bigger than the other one that came in. And I even want to say like the shade of orange was perfect as well. So then I just draped it so that it looked like the colors were alternating. And then it was time to hang the mirror. So the mirror, this idea stemmed from this viral mirror that I keep seeing online that is apparently like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but it's like this magical mirror that you can see a ghost in. And I was like, we could do that for a lot cheaper. So I got that mirror on clearance at Michael's. I think it was like $100 some and I got it for $30. And it fit perfectly between the two window frames. And then I was looking for window clings because what I was going to do, and if you want to try doing this like fake viral mirror, you just need a window cling and you need an uplight on it. And it'll look pretty much the same, like a holographic mirror. So these candle holders were new from this year, and I was going to put them on the coffee table, and I realized they were absolutely perfect for the theme of this bar cart. Same thing with these candle holders. So I had black candle holders and then fake candles that are striped orange and black. How perfect. This little pumpkin is new from this year. I wasn't sure where I was going to put him, but I got a black one as well at Walmart. So everything was coming together. I had the little Boo marquee sign back there. The orange and black striped pumpkin ended up being stunning. I think that's from Michael's from a few years ago. And there's glitter on it, and it was just perfect. So the Walmart black pumpkin, you plug that one in, which I don't mind, but that one was like half the price. So I just draped the plug over the back of the bar cart, and the curtains ended up being so useful because they hide all of the cords because there was other things that had cords. This is my favorite scene. I think it's everybody's favorite scene, right? Would we agree? So I just played around with the pumpkins. I wasn't sure what I wanted to put on which little holder, but we played around with it a couple times, got it right eventually. And then I knew I wanted to raise up this marquee sign behind the tray. So there's a little tray that everything's sitting on that's also striped orange and black and with a little touch of white. I had got these winding they're almost like curly Q sticks. So some with glitter, and then I got these striped ones oh my gosh, I got them in the middle of the summer, and I knew that they would be gone, and in fact they were, but they were so perfect. So I think I got 3 of the orange and black stripes, and then I just put them in empty alcohol bottles. So I've kept these bottles for years. One of them is like Wicked Gin, and it's orange, so I thought it was perfect. I felt like the mixture of the glitter sticks with the curly Q sticks were not only giving circus, but a little bit of Tim Burton, which I kind of love. Speaking of, this lollipop was from Spirit Halloween years ago, and it's A Nightmare Before Christmas extra large Halloween lollipop, and I thought that it was just perfection for the top of the bar cart. So everything was definitely coming together. I had already put the table runner on the middle level, and then I had this really adorable tablecloth from Summerween, so I went and grabbed that. It's just like a kid's tablecloth, but the colors matched. That's why I always kind of categorize what I'm doing, and I just put all the things that are the same color in that area, and then I can just pick and choose from what I'm looking for. That way I go in with a plan. So I just folded the tablecloth as best I could to fit the space so that there wasn't any areas lifting up, and then I put some trays and some little areas too that were a little bit heavier to hold it down. I knew that this guy had to go on the bar cart. My little skeleton with his drink pouring in, I'm going to turn it on in a bit and you'll be able to see it, but it needed to go on the bar cart. Even though it did not match the colors, it's okay. So this guy is from Michaels. He does not get plugged in. He's battery operated, which is also perfect because he's going to be in the middle and that way there's no cords. And then of course the bar cart has to be somewhat practical. So we have glasses where the martini glasses are going to go on the top. We have these bar glasses. Wasn't quite sure where they were going to go just yet. Love the white and black striped pumpkins. The big one is from Dollar Store. The little ones were pulled off of a pick and stick type of, I don't know, decoration from Michaels. And then I had all of these, I call them dangly leg dudes, but they were giving circus and they're giving very vintage Halloween. So I have this weird obsession with this random skeleton teddy bear. I have a second one. I got them at the dollar store. I just think they're the cutest thing. So I put the basket next to the bar cart and I put the black blanket in there, the plaid blanket. And I figured the Tim Burton snake would be perfect from Nightmare Before Christmas with his coloring. We kept moving things around. Some of the bottles ended up on the candle holders. And then the next day we had gone to the dollar store. So this is where you saw the routines of this. So we went to the dollar store to try and find window clings. I ended up ordering these. So these were one option. And you can give me your opinion. So there was a couple different faces. I felt like he looked too much like Oogie Boogie, but I was trying to look at all of them. And I was trying to figure out if I wanted a black window cling or I ordered a different type as well. So I'm so curious what you think. So there was this skeleton one. And at first I was like, no way, not the skeleton. But then I thought he would be more reflective, kind of like the viral ghost mirror. And he would fit a little bit better on the mirror. All right, now, amateur hour over here. You're probably screaming at your television or your screen. I didn't know how to do a window cling. I did not know. And if you don't know, you're supposed to put water. It might stick at first, but it's not gonna stick for very long. So you do soapy water and then it'll stay. So I will be redoing this in a little bit. Future Angie is letting past Angie know that that is not gonna work. But what I liked is that the skeleton came in a bunch of different pieces. So I could position him in the mirror the way that I wanted to. Put on his little shoulder and then his bottom half and then even his arms, like you had to position them, which was perfect because I had to lower the hand. And then I just figured he could be poking out the side and then I could put a little directional light. I had these directional lights that I use for our plants, but it's funny, they actually change colors. So I did like a red light for this, you'll see it, and then I just pointed it right at the mirror and that gives it the holographic kind of vibe. So when I ordered the mirror cling or the window cling, I also ordered these, which I felt were perfect for a circus. The only thing I will say I didn't like was the white string holding it all together. Can I just tell you what's in my heart of hearts that I'm thinking? They look like little undies. They look like undies. Like a little G-string. I didn't love it. So I had a plan. And I also didn't like how sparse the triangles were. So I doubled it. I tied it back and then I had enough to go over it a second pass so that the triangles would fill the space. Now you can't unsee the undies, right? And I just made sure that the triangles fit in between and that the colors were alternating and that made it look so much better. And then I had a plan to cover that horrible white rope. There's handles on either side of the bar cart, so I just tied it back to that. And if you're wondering, my brother made me the bar cart. I did not buy it anywhere. He made it for me. I mean, I paid him, but it doesn't exist anywhere. I'm sure there are variations of it that exist somewhere, like a rustic style bar cart or industrial a little bit, but I have had this bar cart for years and I love it. And he always wants to make me a new one and I always say no. He's like, I could do better now. And he also made the coffee table, by the way. So if you ever see the big coffee table that's behind me in this video, he also made that. So I had these orange fairy lights lying around. They were absolutely perfect. And I had a plan to tie in the railing. So if you saw me doing the Halloween decorating or the autumn railing, I wanted to tie it in because it is in the same room. So I wanted to tie it all in together so the coloring made sense. But I used the wire fairy lights to my advantage. I just twisted them all around each of the triangles to just tie them together and then hook them over the edge so that everything was secure and stable. So I had one string of fairy lights going across the top, and then I was going to do another banner across the middle row with more fairy lights. Then we decided to watch Scooby-Doo. I figured it was perfect for the theme of the bar cart. So fun and so on brand. Popcorn will become part of this bar cart as well. So popcorn is one of my favorite food groups. I love popcorn. And instead of doing a bunch of alcohol on there, I thought it would be fun to have little popcorn pieces poking out either from the open mouth jars or from these popcorn holders that I got. So I still had enough of the banner to be able to do the second row, and then I was left with just, I think, 3 pieces, just a couple little pieces. So I had a plan for that. I filled the little popcorn pieces in, this is real popcorn. So you can get fake popcorn, you can make fake popcorn if you want to, but I just popped some real popcorn. It smelled great. I was planning on spraying it with an adhesive so that it would just kind of like a sealant, so that it would just seal and it'd be fine, but it's cold here. There's no bugs coming in. There's no rodents. We're all good. And my dog is definitely not going to eat that. So why overcomplicate it? I was going to try and make all this little fake popcorn pieces. We just rolled with it. So I put Lil Boo next to that area, if you saw him. So that tied in the whole Universal theme. And then I had these extra bulbs because I tried to change out the bulbs in our powder room to these, and they were much too small for the chandelier, but they were perfect for this chandelier. So I just alternated the purple and the orange, and I thought it was so cute. So this was my plan to cover up that ugly white rope and just add a little touch of Halloween nostalgia. So I figured just a black garland would be perfect, and thank goodness there was enough. So I just used the wire from the fairy lights to hold it all together and cover up the white rope that was tying those little triangles together. And then with the fairy lights, perfection. And I really like the dangly leg dudes just kind of hanging over the edge. Carl wanted to be a part of it. They look also very Halloween nostalgia. So I just loved the whole vibe of that. Now this is me following what the internet told me to do and just cleaning up the mirror. So apparently if you use Windex or any window cleaner or soap and water and then you put the window cling on, you're good to go. And I will speak from experience, you are good to go. And you can use a little piece of plastic to smooth out any air bubbles. So I just put his little torso back on, and it really did end up being perfect because the mirror is not very big. So to just have it in little pieces, I would definitely suggest if you're gonna get a window cling, I think that this is perfection. And if you saw the day routine where I went to the dollar store and there was the spooky ones, I need your opinion. Do you think that I should have gone with one of those scarier ones? Because there was one that looked almost like a circus master. He was a skeleton, but he was creepy. I feel like this guy's a little bit more happy. So this is what I did with my remaining little pieces of triangle. I just tied each of the pieces together because it was just the ends. So I had 2 orange and 1 black left. I think I might have had 1 more black triangle left. And then I just tied the rope at the top so that it was all fixed together and secure as always. And then I was going to put fairy lights across that as well. So this is how I plan on tying in the railing. So the railing has these fairy lights that have a little bit of purple in them as well. So I had 1 extra pack of those. So that way it kind of continues from the railing. And it's not a bunch of different themes everywhere. At least that's how my brain worked. And this way it kind of creates a little bit of a difference from just the orange ones that I put on the other levels of the bar cart. I just untwisted the fairy lights. And my idea was to drape them straight across the top and then put them behind what would be the circus curtains. And then this is the final product. How beautiful. I'm so happy with how this turned out. It's unreal. It's better than what I thought that I could do. And with the popcorn and little dangly leg dudes, they almost look like the circus masters. I put a solar powered lamp inside of one of the pumpkins on the top. Very happy with all of this. So this is the pouring bottle. Figured I would just give you a little tour of the full finished product and what the entire bar cart looks like. I found these little faux whips that I had. I put those inside the martini glasses. I thought that would be perfect. Filled some of the martini glasses with popcorn and little eyeballs. And I love the cauldron with the pouring water. It just adds a certain level of animation, and it's giving boozy. It's giving boozy skeleton, so I thought it was perfect for the bar cart. So much fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. To everybody that guessed it right, congratulations. I hope that you were inspired today to decorate for yourself, and I hope you guys have the best Halloween decorating fun ever, and I will see you tomorrow for more Halloween fall decorating. Bye, you guys.